What's going on, folks? It's your boy Manpreet. I am currently still out of town. I am out visiting the in-laws as my wife's grandfather passed away late last week, and we just came out for the funeral. The funeral was earlier today, and I had promised you guys that I would be releasing a Bellator breakdown for you guys by Thursday. It is now Thursday evening. The fights kick off in just about 24 hours, or actually 12 hours, if I'm not mistaken. But I was unable to get the breakdowns and researching done as I thought I would have been able to. Just not enough time being with family and all that stuff. And obviously, that stuff comes first and foremost. I was able to research the last three fights, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging here. So I will just give my quick predictions on the 10 fights that we currently have scheduled. Two of them, I believe, I don't know anything about at least one of the fighters, and I'll let you guys know that right off the bat. But I'm just going to get quickly to the point for every single matchup here, just to give you guys a prediction. I would not wager on any of these predictions. Again, I just was not able to put in the time and effort that I normally put into breaking down these fights and researching these fights to the best of my abilities for the circumstances that I just laid out for you guys at the top here. So, again, I do appreciate all the love, all the support, all the comments that you guys have been leaving in regards to sending condolences and such. Life is fleeting. Just yeah, be there for your family when you can be, and the rest will fall in place where it does. So again, I appreciate you guys, and again, I didn't want to leave you guys hanging here. So here are my predictions for Bellator Championship Series Paris. We'll kick off at the top here with Asael Juge versus Bruno Fontes. Fontes is a fighter that I was unable to do any researching on. He's an undefeated fighter, has a few finishes, could be, a solid prospect. No idea. Juge is a solid prospect, so I'm going to lean with him here with very low confidence. Showcased a solid striking game, good grappling game as well, putting together very well. But could be a tough test against Bruno Fontes. But Juge will be my prediction. Aspen Ladd versus Ekaterina Shakalova. I'm seeing the line balloon in Ladd's favor here, but Shakalova could make things interesting with her own grappling approach here too. Could be more competitive than the line is indicating. So for my prediction, I'll go with Shakalova here. Next up, Mike Shipman versus Stephen Hill. Hill, very solid prospect, 7-0, has a great jiu-jitsu game, good grappling game. Shipman uses his wrestling very well too, but I'm going to have to lean with the prospect here in Stephen Hill. Yeah, I think he'll eventually be able to find a submission, especially as Shipman starts to slow down later in fights and his durability being as questionable as it is. So I'll go with Stephen Hill here. Mansour Barnaoui versus Yusik Yachi. I know nothing about Yachi other than I believe he's been competing for Rizin over his last several fights. I know Barnaoui is a high-level BJJ specialist. He's a very chalky favorite here. Again, tough to really make a firm prediction, especially at this chalky line, as I don't know enough about Yachi and if he could actually stop the jiu-jitsu approach of Barnaoui, but I'll go with Barnaoui here as my prediction. Next up, we got Slim Trabelsi going up against Louis Sutherland. Trabelsi has been seen as one of the best heavyweights outside of the UFC. Was supposed to get signed to the UFC and then got withheld to an Aries FC contract, if I'm not mistaken. Sutherland's still a little bit of a prospect here, but I think Trabelsi could pretty much run this fight, probably find the finish in the second or third round. Archie Colgan against Thibaut Galti. Colgan, one of my favorite Bellator prospects from years ago now, really starting to come into his own, working his way up the ladder. He's a big favorite in this spot, rightfully so. Gauti might have an experience advantage, but Colgan, I think, has the skill and just overall MMA advantage in this matchup, and I expect him to go out there and grind out Gauti. Next up, we got Yves Landu going up against Jonas Billarino. Landu is a powerful early finisher. Billarino likes to utilize a flashy striking approach. Had a pretty flashy highlight reel knockout on the Contender Series a couple years back, but was not signed to the promotion as that knockout came at the ending of the fight, and the rest of the fight was pretty sucky. But I do think we'll see Billarino tread the cage very well here, stay away from the big knockout power of Landu, and then eventually find his own knockout in the second or third round. Next up, Gregory Babin going up against Constelo Venstinas. Babin is on an 8-fight winning streak that is stretched over 10 years ago, as he's not been that active as of late. Last time around, he finished Charlie Ward after club and subbing him. Venstinas, in my opinion, is the cleaner fighter here, and I think he is skilled enough to stay away from the big early finishing power of Babin. And Babin's getting up there in age. I believe he's 40, or at least cracking 40 very shortly, and I think we'll see Venstinas survive the early onslaught, put it on Babin, and eventually find his own finish in the second or third round. Co-main event, Cedric Doumbé versus Jaleel Willis. This is probably the most complete fighter that Doumbé has fought. You know, Baki last time around was a solid fighter, but still his own prospect, considering how young he was in his MMA career. Willis might be able to have some grappling success here. His striking's not that bad. His durability is a little bit of a question mark, but I would not be taking Doumbé at a minus 500 price tag against somebody as experienced as and complete as Willis. Maybe just taking a half unit shot on Willis is not a bad spot. Again, Doumbé could find the knockout. That's absolutely possible here. Tremendous striker, as we know, but this is mixed martial arts at the end of the day, and Willis could have the answer to defeat the very difficult and threatening Cedric Doumbé. So I'm going to go with the Willis here, and Willis by decision. And then the final fight here, main event rematch between Patchy Mix and Magomedov. Makes no sense as to why this fight is happening. It was a pretty clear and dominant finish for Patchy Mix the last time they met 2 years ago, where he choked him out. Magomedov landed a few takedowns in that matchup. It immediately got reversed as Mix was able to snatch onto his neck, and Magomedov would have to roll to his back to get out of it. But the time that he tried to roll to his back in the second round, he ended up getting choked out completely cold, and Patchy Mix continued to show why he is the best bantamweight on the planet. And I think he'll continue to showcase that once again this weekend as he eventually finds another submission over Magomedov. In the striking realm, kind of even. Mix was really starting to get into his groove, landing his straights down the pipe, finding his timing very well, and I think that's what drew out the desperation takedowns from Magomedov, and I think we could eventually see that again here, but I do think we'll eventually see this get into the grappling realm where Mix will continue to showcase his superior BJJ and snatch up another submission victory. Crazy that that line has gone from about minus 215 earlier this week all the way close to minus 500 now. But yeah, that's Patchy Mix for you. Again, appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support, appreciate everybody showing the support and dropping the comments and all that stuff. Yeah, just don't take too much into these breakdowns. I wish I could have done a little bit more work and dove deep into it a little bit more for you guys, but that was not meant to be this week. Appreciate the understanding, and I will be back on Saturday afternoon for the segments for the UFC card. So that's the free parlay, 3 best prop bets. I'll be able to get that out for you guys as I'm flying back Friday night, and I should be able to get all my work done that night and have it out for you guys for Saturday. So stay tuned for some more UFC content before the fights kick off. All right, love you guys. Appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you guys on Saturday. Peace.